starting. And we are now live. Yay! Woohoo!
Hey guys!
Let
us know when you can hear us, guys.
Recorded. Yep. Chat room, can you hear us? Sybil, thank you for showing up. We thought you weren't going to make it. We were getting nervous. We have to put off the show again because you didn't show up, but you're here, so great. We can start.
How do you join the that said AAPodcast.com?
If you go to theaapodcast.com/live, you may or may not find that the web-based chat room is working. And if not, you'll have to load an IRC program. It kind of comes and goes. The people that put it, created that web chat are awesome, but
I can see chat.
Excellent.
I will not try starting the stream because that would be weird.
Yeah. Caller, can you please turn the radio off? Caller, can you turn the radio down?
Yes. I just want to hear myself on the radio.
Then listen later.
Sybil was busy attending to Lazy Peons. I totally understand that. Okay. All right, thank you, Speckles. We now have confirmation that we are out there streaming, broadcasting across the internet. This is on Facebook. No, it's not. All right, so everybody to the top of the document. Zod to the top of the document. There we go. And I need
specifically Zod?
Find my theme. All right.
Now, this may be just me, but Zod's picture is a big blank screen.
It is just you.
It's just me? Okay.
It's looking at the inside of my mind, which is a big blank screen these days.
Ooh.
Okay, well, fortunately I know what Zod looks like, so I can just use my imagination.
He's dashing.
Imagination. Actually, I'm having a bad hair day, so imagine me with a bad hair day. Trying to imagine Abovan with a bad hair day. That'd be kind of funny.
You know what? I just realized you're not moving it.
I'm not moving a what?
Your picture, it's just a static picture.
Is it really?
It is.
Lean side to side. You guys can't see me leaning?
Nope.
Could be interesting. I will start and stop my camera.
Thank you.
Camera off. Now it should just be the AIE logo.
It's the logo, correct.
It is.
All right, camera back on. And it says I'm
Nothing yet. All right, I just see the logo right now.
I see me. I'd rather see the logo, but I can see me. I see the Azeroth Roundtable shirt.
I got nothing, buddy.
Nothing.
Interesting. Hey, chat room, can you guys see me? Not that you need to see me for the purposes of an audio podcast, but if you guys can hear me, that's probably good enough. Now, I take it you guys can hear me okay?
Yeah, totally.
Yes.
All right, so then I say we just forbear with the lack of Zodness, and we will...
Lack of Zodness makes me sad.
You'll have to get used to it, unfortunately.
Yeah, considering that it worked a moment ago.
That's weird.
Probably saw your headphones and then freaked out. Said, no!
Yeah, Speckles says it sees the AIE logo as well. So yeah, we'll steal the gorgeous logo and go on.
All right, so top of the document, audio ready, minimize that, chat room up. Okay, ready here?
Mm-hmm.
I say we start in 5, 4, 3, 2, on this episode of the AIE podcast.
The triumphant return of the Guildie of the Month.
Did you see that trailer?
Garrisons, and yes, more garrisons.
And have you pre-ordered the Shadows of Revan yet?
And Abovan is here to talk about Final Fantasy.
All that and more coming up right now. Bringing you the latest news from the AIE gaming community from planet Earth and beyond. This is the AIE podcast. All right, welcome to episode 216 of the podcast celebrating the Alea Iacta Est gaming community. This is Accusod. With me this week, over there, we've got McCullough.
Hey guys, there's a snickerdoodle cheesecake in the guild kitchen. Please eat it before I do.
Ooh,
again.
Yummy. I love that. All right, this week we're joined by special guest Abovan, who is here to talk to us about AIE in Final Fantasy. Welcome, Abo.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Doing great.
Doing great, Abo. Thanks so much for joining us tonight.
No problem.
Aludra couldn't make it tonight. She's off on secret assignment. You'll have to stay tuned to Twitter to see what that is. But other than that, let's move on to see how everybody's doing. We missed last week's show, so it's been 2 weeks since we were last here. McCullough, what have you been up to?
Well, it would be lovely if I could actually find the time to game, but being the holiday season, it's a little limited. When I have gamed, I've been working on, of course, my Garrison quests. Just did the Iron Wolf quest, and that was a good time. Always be wary of anybody named Fenris. Is my piece of advice from mythology.
Good rule to live by.
Very, very much so. Getting ready for a real live event that Nevermore and Ozarin, Leontine, whatever you want to call her, Alakaz's wife, and I are doing in 2 weeks. We're doing the Phoenix Fan Fest, which is a smaller new comic convention going on. So We're looking forward to that. Right. That's about it, though. Gaming when I can, though, which is always what we do. We're gamers.
Yep. And speaking of gamers, a guy who plays all of the games, Abavan, what have you been up to since last time you've been on? Or recently, or whenever?
I've been playing a lot of games.
All the games.
Not every game, but a very high percentage of them. I've been playing, obviously been playing Final Fantasy. It's still fun, still a great game to play. Been playing this expansion for this little game came out. So I think it's called Warcraft.
Tiny Death Star?
No. This a game that has not been pulled from the App Store.
Oh, okay.
I wish it was on the App Store.
Or all app stores for that matter. But anyway, I've been playing a lot of the Warcrafts with the Lords of Draenor. That's a lot of fun. Been spending some time with that. I've got myself a new iPhone, a super big one. So I got some games for that, some MOBAs. I got a Dragon Quest IV for that thing, and that's pretty awesome because it's
Nice.
Yes, love that game. But it's old school game. If you haven't played it, it's old, but it's cool. You'll love it. And then there was the holiday bit, doing the tour of the family. So take a tour of the northeast corridor area of the country, up and down. For those who are not of the United States, Thanksgiving is our big eating and not working holiday that we have. It's pretty awesome. I do recommend it.
Eating holiday. We do nothing but eat for one day. The entire day we eat nonstop.
Yeah.
And lots of gaming, lots of family stuff, good times.
Awesome. So tell me, what do you think about Warlords of Draenor? What's your favorite part, or what have you been into in the game?
So I've been playing through the story as my druid. It's my the character that came in the AIE with Abavan the Druid.
Your namesake.
Yes, my namesake. Yes, and I've been playing through the garrisons because that's a central part of the game. I've been going through all the zones, all the story stuff. I've been doing dungeons. I became heroic eligible today.
Impressive.
I've finished up. No, not Pharaoh. Balance and Resto. Because I normally play as Balance. And then I'm playing through, I'm doing less damage than everybody else. What's going on? Google. According to the super awesome people, again, the people who are...
The min-maxers.
Yes. When they rank out all the DPS on all the characters in WoW that do damage. Resto Druids are not on this list for obvious reasons. They shouldn't be doing that much damage. A little bit, but not that much. Balanced Druids should be doing damage. And on all the lists there, they are second from the bottom.
And the bottom is my Elemental Shaman, I can tell you that.
So that's a little discouraging, but with and the way I see things, though, with smart gear choices, smart gear itemization that I pick up, make sure I get the right, and if I do the math and get the right items, and with putting the practice in, it's not something I'm going to pick up immediately, but putting the practice in, I can still be good for what I have to deal with, and for most people, I'm hoping that with my 10 years of MMO experience that I can make up for some of that little being towards the bottom of the DPS chart, or I just heal, which I've been doing raid-wise since Wrath.
And we know a good healer is so hard to come by too. So.
Right. Well, I've been rolling with the same raid team since Wrath in AIE.
That's Noogie Knights, right?
Yes. Yeah. Noogie Knights.
Great team.
Yeah, it's a good team. Based in Fortuna. And it's the same core group of people. We have some people coming back, and we're pretty excited to get started soon. We're adding in some new faces here with the whole normal everyday flex rating is now flex sized. So
I love that.
People can come in and drop, and as it
Yeah, looking back, you got to wonder, why wasn't it that way to begin with? It's such a great way to handle rating.
It is.
And mandatory limits.
I know, like, for our team, it really kind of changed the dynamic, and it made it so, yeah, real life happens. So, okay, skip this night. It's not going to hurt you. It's not going to kill you. Hey, can I bring my friend in? Whatever. It really has embrace the whole friends and family viewpoint of WoW, and something that we definitely try to encourage in our guild.
Yep, in fact, our raid team's named after it. So.
It is.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing that I see out there is that the big mantra that you hear from BlizzCon and from the developers is, we want you to raid with your friends. Well, here now you can pick your friends, like your extended friends and your friends of friends and so forth. You can't say, you can be my friend as long as you do 80,000 bazillion DPS. That's gone, unless you want to be that sort of jerky jerk face, which, if that's your thing, more power to you. Some of us, we want to raid with people that, we want to go and have a drink with afterwards. A nice, Diet Dr. Pepper, because kind of funny.
Yeah, I totally agree. I just love the concept of the way it's changed the game. Although, we probably should move on and do some AI news, or I could sit here and talk about Draenor all day. We could do an hour and a half easily just on Draenor.
But what have you been doing, Zod? What have you been doing? You missed that piece of it.
Now I'm going to do it. I'm going to go for an hour and a half on the Draenor. Actually, no, I've been playing Warlords of Draenor. I've been playing, I was a mage all last expansion. Every expansion, I tend to switch it up, and I change my character. It's always a big help that every expansion, Blizzard changes every class, and then for some reason I'm dissatisfied with the class that I have. Like, I was a huge Resto Shaman in Icecrown Citadel, whatever the Lich King days. Loved that class. Then they came out with the big dragon Deathwing dude, and I feel that they broke Resto Shaman irreparably. I just could not play them anymore. The changes they made, I have no idea why they needed to change them. I thought they were perfect. So I gave them up, switched over to the mage. No, actually not the mage. I played something else that period. But anyway, so this expansion, I think I'm going to go back to the Resto Shaman and see how well it's doing, see if some of the most recent changes, whether they fixed the things they broke or not. But I've got to say, Feral Druid is insane. Feral Druids and Hunters are just mind-bogglingly easy to play, massive DPS, take very little damage. My wife Prankess and I have been running. She's been helping my shaman level because he really can't do enough DPS to actually run around solo on his own. In either elemental or enhancement spec, just wasn't putting out the DPS to get through mobs. So she went on. The two of us have been doing a hunter healer team, and I've been healing her, which is not saying much because hunters really don't need heals.
Right.
Their pets do all the tanking, and then her pet Fred is a great pet. Very, very good at tanking, even though he's DPS. So we just dinged 100 yesterday, day before, a couple days ago. Recently, in the very last few days. So I've got the shaman is at 100. My feral druid is at 99 because he flies through content, just like melted butter. He has a blast doing it all. He's fun to solo on. Other than that, all my other alts are kind of various stages of sitting in their garrisons, sending people on missions, and not doing much else. I think they're still kind of bored.
That garrison feature is so much fun, though.
Yeah, it really is. It creates a whole new mini game that's actually really. It can be both entertaining and annoying, and the annoying part is what makes some games really good.
Right. And addicting.
Yeah, that's what makes them addicting. I finally got enough resources to do this, or I finally got that one mission accomplished and got this one drop. So I'm just absolutely loving everything about Warlords. I can't think of many things wrong with it, if anything at all. Nothing comes to mind. And it's obviously brought in players back to the game in droves, as we're going to talk about a little bit later.
Oh, God.
It's definitely brought people to AIE in droves, which is something else we're also going to mention briefly later. So, whew, just loving it. So with that, let's go ahead and move on to AIE news. Or otherwise, I will just keep going. So, if I my news.
That's okay, too.
AIE news.
AIE news.
Guildie of the Month. AIE would like to congratulate our Guildie of the Month for December, Thugs of AIE WoW. For those of you who do not know, Thugs coordinated an event in World of Warcraft that helped over 130 people obtain a special weapon from the final boss of Mists of Pandaria, Gary Garrosh Hellscream. This weapon, the heirloom, levels with the player up to 100. It's also transferable to alts. Thugs worked his backside off to make sure anybody who was interested in getting it had the opportunity to do so, and for that he deserves our thanks. And we're reiterating our Guildie of the Month, and Zod's talking about that right now.
Yeah. So speaking of Guildie of the Month, the Guildie of the Month is a program that lets us acknowledge our outstanding members in the community. If you know someone who you think deserves to be recognized, please send an email to officers@aie-guild.org. We are in the process of getting a more dedicated email set up, but that's our general officer email and goes to everybody. So we'll shout out when we get the new one. So nominations for January's Guild of the Month will be accepted until December 13th, 2014. So that is, month and a half. Wait a minute, that's not right, is it?
No, it's in 2 weeks.
Oh, that's right. Okay, each month we nominate next month's Guildie of the Month. I thought it was retroactive, so
Correct.
like we did in November. So, okay, so you have until the first 2 weeks of each month to nominate the Guildie for next month's Guildie of the Month. And again, this can be someone who's just gone out of their way to do something nice, something helpful. Maybe somebody jumped in to heal when you had your healer leave at the last minute. Maybe somebody went out of their way to help you boost your trade skills. And it's not limited to just World of Warcraft. It's anything in any game we play, anywhere we happen to be. It can even be an extremely helpful guy in the forums who, help you fix your computer. So
Certainly.
if you know somebody in AIE who's done something that is just really outstanding, we want to give them all of the promotion and attention they deserve. So email us at officers@aie-guild.org.
And regardless if you're a fan of the franchise or not, it's hard to deny the impact that the Star Wars movies have had on the world. In fact, they're why I'm a geek personally. Well, last week, Lucasfilm announced the next movie in the series, Episode 7, The Force Awakens, will hit screens on December 18th, 2015. And there was also a small little teaser trailer that was released everywhere on Friday, which spread across the internet like wildfire. Did you see it?
Oh, I did, and then I lit up. It was hard not to because I was in WoW, and of course somebody logged into the game and didn't realize we'd all been talking about it all morning. So like every 5 minutes, a new member jumped in. Have you guys seen the trailer? Have you guys seen the trailer? Like, yes, we've seen the trailer. So
I felt like a little geekling again when I was watching that.
Just
awesome. the second the Falcon, and yeah, there's too many words.
I have to admit, the original Star Wars in the theaters is one of my first and earliest memories as a child. I was 7 at the time, which, if you do your math, makes me in the old category. But I remember, people lined up around the block.
Yep. I saw it just after my 5th birthday, and I remember as a 5-year-old not wanting to get up to go to the bathroom because I was so entranced by everything about it.
It was awesome.
I remember seeing the Star Wars trilogy on HBO, and that was the and when my family first got cable, and that was like the first memory of that, and seeing that on there, I was like, this HBO thing is going to catch on. And 30 years later comes Game of Thrones.
Yes.
Yeah, you try to tell your kids, I try to tell my kids at least that Star Wars changed, revolutionized the entire movie industry, special effects, things were done, the way you could tell a story. Because if you look at the story, the story itself is not that bad of or great of a story. It's a generic, William Shakespeare's done 100 of them. But it was presented visually in such a way that was just earth-shattering. And kids today, they're used to all the modern CGI effects, and they're like, yeah, this looks like crap.
But you think about it, Star Wars did for movies what the Beatles did for music. It
Oh,
changed the way
good.
we looked at everything.
And everyone had goofy haircuts too. So yeah,
They did,
totally.
right? Exactly.
All right, so let's move on to the next topic.
Let's
This
not.
one is from me personally. I
It's
know
not.
McCall doesn't want to. So after 4 years of doing the show, I'm not sure if I'm above or below 4 years, but around that 4 year mark, I have decided it's time for me to step down from doing the podcast. I've had a blast. It's been amazing to be a voice of AIE for so long and to be so integrated into the community. But I think it's just time for me to pass the chair over to somebody else and let some new blood come in here. Let you guys hear a new voice and maybe let Aludra and McCullough take the show in a whole new direction, because I know McCullough is probably not aware of this, but the show that we do now, I almost built it up from scratch when I joined.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing against the previous versions, but everybody's got their own take on things, and I think it's time to get a new person in here to start a new take on this podcast. So next week will be my last episode of the AIE podcast, and I leave it in extremely good hands with McCullough and Aludra. As I keep telling McCullough, you need to listen to your first episode on here and your recent ones. You have grown as a podcaster so much that I have absolutely no qualms about leaving the show in your hands. I know it's in good care.
Well, thank you, Zah. They're huge shoes to fill, and I'm still under protest. You know this, right?
Yes, it is. So.
We'll miss
Okay.
you, dude.
Yes,
I
most
still be doing. I
definitely.
still hope to get my Zodcast off the ground again,
Yes.
which I've been trying to do. So I'm not going to quit podcasting. I just think it's time for me to move off this one and let someone else come in and have some fun.
Okay. Under
All right.
protest.
Noted.
Okay. Well, as we talked a little earlier in the show, World of Warcraft is huge right now. And one of the coolest features, undeniably, of Warlords of Draenor is the Garrison. And Thorbias on the forum was kind enough to post some great information from MML Champion about some highly useful add-ons, Master Planner and Garrison Mission Manager. If you don't have them, go take a look. It really does make things a little easier to manage your army of followers.
I have to say, I haven't loaded the master plan yet, but I saw the screenshots, and that will actually show you all your missions, and you have little tabs on the sides with percentage numbers, and you click on those, and it will load the followers that will give you that percentage. So, I've got a 96%, 72%, 65%, and you say, oh, yeah, this one I'm going to go ahead and throw 92% at. So instead of sitting like I do, mix and matching, dragging, dropping, and just kind of hoping, making random guesses, it actually will give you exactly based on who's free and who can do the mission, what your chances are of surviving it. So I haven't loaded it yet, but I will be within minutes of ending the podcast.
I
Definitely
actually use
highly
Master
useful.
Plan right now,
Ooh.
Great.
and it's awesome. So what it does exactly what you're saying, but it actually does it one step further. It actually sorts them by you can sort them by what you can counter. So right at the top of your screen, top of your list, it sorts all your missions, saying this one here is level 99, and you can counter it. You can counter this one, and just list them right down and drag them in. When you go about your business, go about your day, and you come back from work, or you come back from a day of questing, and you go and you look at all your items that are all your missions, instead of having the animation, you're waiting for the guy to go bleh and fall over, and then you say success or fail, and then click on the treasure chest to get your loot. There's just one button, and it just says success, fail, success, fail, success, fail on each one, and then it just displays at one big screen all the experience that you got for all your followers, what items you got, all at one shot, so you can see like a single pane of glass how you're progressing through your missions. It's so much easier, so much more. It's so much easier to comprehend, what actions your followers do on leveling up, and I
Great.
thoroughly enjoy it.
Yeah, as a developer, that's one of those programs that makes me angry because I didn't think of it first.
Certainly,
I
yeah.
could have done that, but someone's thought of it already. So. Oh, wait a minute. Is that me?
It
Yes,
is
it is
you.
me. Sorry. My turn next. I lost
Your
track
turn,
of the
your
page.
turn.
All right. I got so excited about it. Like I said, I can go on for an hour and a half with all the great stuff going on.
Oh, God,
in
yeah.
Worlds. All right. So if you're having issues leveling up followers because... Okay, let me phrase this correctly. If you're having issues because you put your followers at level 100 and then suddenly all the missions are level 100, Blizzard heard everybody complain about that, and they've instituted a new way of handling missions. There are now 3 brackets of missions, the 90 to 94, 95, 99, and 100. So if you have followers that fall into those brackets experience-wise, then you will get missions appropriate to those people. Now, the downside of this is if all of your followers are 100, and I've got a couple of mine that know that you basically have 3 followers, and they've been 100 for a long time now, all you get are the 100 level bracket, 100 level mission bracket things.
Mhm.
Words are hard. But
are
that
hard.
means you only get like 3 or 4 missions because you only get 3 or 4 in each bracket, and if you only have level 100 followers, you only get the level 100 bracket. So we had an excellent tip from me. Is it me or my? I'm not sure how
My,
that's
I
pronounced.
think.
My, M-I-Y, who's amazing,
Hmm?
said you might want to leave some of your followers at the lower levels. That way you can make sure to open up those brackets and get those missions, and you can still throw your level 100 followers at them and knock them right out. But if you level everybody up to 100, then you're suddenly going to start running out of missions because you only get so many level 100 missions. So thanks to Mai for posting all this on the forums and letting us know.
Most certainly. And undeniably, Warlord of the Draenor is huge. In fact, membership for WoW has now spiked over 10 million. Before Warlords, we were at, 6.8? And AIE personally has seen a major influx of new and returning players. So we do ask your continued patience as we manage those queues. We're going to get everybody in as soon as possible, and I can say everybody has been awesome about it.
Yes, we're great. And of course, if those of you who don't know, you sign into the game, go into AIE LFO for looking for an officer, and sometimes you may find that there's no officers in the LFO channel, even though there are officers online, and that's because honestly, we're trying to play the game too, and there are times when we check out, and we actually tend to raid together. Many of us have raided together for a long time, so you might find some nights we're actually busy raiding, and we apologize for that, but hopefully everybody understands and appreciates the fact that we're trying to play the game too. So give us a little bit of slack. We will get you. Just hang out in LFO. McCall is actually the one who invites people right in the middle of raid all the time. So
I only do it on breaks, and thanks for throwing me under the bus.
No, actually, it's a big promotion for you. McCall is so dedicated to making sure people get in that she'll do it. No, like right. If McCall goes down early, that's it. She's over inviting people.
Yep,
we'll just let her know when she's been rezzed. So
I do not do it on purpose, though. I have never fallen in battle.
Oh, 3 people in the channel. I'm gonna go stand in the poop over there for a bit. And
Hey guys, I have some work to do. No, never done it, and I usually get castrated. No, chastised for doing it.
No, chastised maybe, but never the other thing. That's an entirely different kind of punishment.
That would be weird.
And by the way, in fact, this isn't in our show notes, but I meant to put it in there. I wanted to throw it out there. To those of you who are joining the guild maybe for the first time or maybe coming back after a while, please understand with a guild our size, we have a number of relatively simple, easy-to-follow rules, but they're very important for everyone to follow in order to keep a guild our size running. One of those kind of rules relates to guild chat and the things you're allowed to do in our guild chat and things you're not allowed to do in our guild chat. That make absolutely no sense if you're coming from a smaller guild. You're like, well, yeah, we can talk about that topic or type in all caps or use foul language in our guild. No big deal. Our guild is family friendly, and we have a charge to keep guild chat from being annoying and distracting. It's already distracting enough because there's always great topics going on, especially when we're talking about food. But
or Star Wars trailers.
Or Star Wars trailers. But we do ask that please, if you're joining the guild, read and understand the rules we have, especially the ones for guild chat. That seems to be the most unusual rules that we have in our guild that other people don't quite grasp at first.
Exactly.
And
okay.
Just to jump in on the guild chat thing, a lot of people here, they have there's a lot of groups within AIE, like raid teams and so forth. A lot of them, they have their own custom channels there that they do whatever they want to do with. I mean, as long as the people you are inviting to your channel, have the same mindset there, chances are it's going, you can do what you want because that's not guild chat. Guild chat, think of that as more like a loudspeaker. All right, you're taking that, and you're broadcasting to potentially thousands of people that are online at that time. So if you want to have like a little message with you and your little inner circle within AIE, that's a great idea to do for just a small little custom channel. Just join what your group name is.
Exactly.
And if you're looking for a team, go to those forums. Forums are awesome.
Yes, they are.
Okay, with that, let's move out of World of Warcraft and jump into EVE Online.
A game that has totally new rules, completely different rules.
Oh, yes.
Than WoW. Yes,
Yeah, we're not even going to try to talk about their rules.
No.
I don't have rules, actually. I'm not sure there.
They're more of a set of recommendations.
So, okay, Lengtharis would like to remind all the EVE players to sign up for FleetUp. FleetUp is a service, it's a website that they use to schedule corporate operations, which you can sync to your favorite desktop or mobile app, so that way you don't miss out on anything. It also gives fleet commanders easy ways to prepare for and review the missions they've run, so they can see what kind of contents they're capable of running and how well they did and maybe how they can do things better. So, and a lot more than that. It's basically the kind of whole coordination paperwork behind all the spreadsheets in space. So if you're playing EVE and you're not in FleetUp, you're really missing out on a lot of what's going on in the game.
Also, if you're not familiar with EVE, CCP released a video last week that might draw you into this gorgeous game. The video is called This is EVE, and it shows off some of the high points of the game. Shot entirely in-game and voiced by actual players carrying out missions, it's a pretty thrilling look at what goes on in the deep, dark recesses of space. If you haven't seen it, we have a link in the show notes, and there's a link to it on the AIE EVE forums.
And it is beautiful. Within the first 3 minutes, it's just like a 4-minute video, maybe 3.5. But not even halfway through, I started feeling that urge, because I played EVE for a good 3 months solid. Just trying to get my head around the game, and it took a month just to get my head around the game, and then 2 months of really enjoying it. Before I jumped back out and started playing WoW again, but man, I started the first half. I'm like, oh, I want to play again. It looks like so much fun. They're thrilling moments in EVE. I don't think they exist the same level in any other game.
Yeah.
And that video had it. Okay. Move on to AIE in Star Wars: The Old Republic. Now, we're going to have Max on next week to tell us more about it, but the new expansion, Star Wars: The Old Republic Shadows of Revan, drops on December 9th, and it's your last chance to pre-order for all the goodies is tomorrow, December 1st. So is December 1st the last day, or is December 1st too late?
No, December 1st is the last day to order for all the extra goodies. And then and obviously you miss out on the 1 week of extra leveling time or what have you. But yeah, it's December 1st.
Okay, so the bonuses you can still get up until tomorrow include a subscriber-exclusive Class XP bonus, as well as a grand statue of Revan for your stronghold. And who doesn't like statues, right?
Exactly.
There's a great discussion on the forums around what changes to expect with 3.0, particularly around the new commendation conversation and
conversion. Yes.
Oh, conversion. Okay. Words are hard.
Right. So looking at it, they're changing a lot of. I think they're breaking down the commendations to certain categories. And there's a soft cap of 1,000 and a hard cap of 2,000. Now I don't play, so I'm not that familiar with it, but that's the information I got from those helpful people over on the SWTOR forums.
Gotcha. Yeah. Essentially, those commendations are your currency used to purchase gear of various types, both leveling and there's leveling ones, and there's also combinations for end-game stuff. And I don't know the details of the changes, but that's traditionally what they've been.
Right.
Gotcha. All right, so last up on our game discussion this week is Final Fantasy, and for that we brought in the amazing Abovan. All right, Abo, what is going on finally in that fantasy game you play?
Well, many things are happening. Many things have happened recently. So we all know BlizzCon. Obviously, for those on the video stream, I picked up a few things from the BlizzCon store there. For those who see, I have loot.
Yeah, wearing a Heroes of the Storm T-shirt. You have a Blizzard pullover.
Yes, I am. So they have they have their own BlizzCon, which celebrates Blizzard games. Well, Square Enix has the Final Fantasy XIV Fan Fest, and they did one in Vegas, they did one in London, and they're going to have a third one in Japan on December 20th.
I want to go.
So first off, we actually had a guild meetup in Vegas. I unfortunately was not able to go. I was actually wrapping up with my previous company, so I could not get off, but we did have quite a few members there, and it actually coincided with a EVE event that was happening in Vegas on the same days. So there's actually a lot of nerdiness happening in Vegas over one weekend. But at this FanFest there, it's a 2-day event, announcements, Q&A panels, developers come in there, and the big thing that they announced was their new expansion that Final Fantasy is going to have in the spring, Heaven's Ward.
Mm-hmm.
It's Heavens as in more than one heaven, and then Ward as in award. So
Married
Heaven's
to the father of the beaver.
Not that one.
Ward. His name was Ward, right? Ward Cleaver.
Ward
Sorry,
Cleaver.
I don't know why
yes.
I went there. All right.
So there is a teaser site up now, and it seems to be very Dragoon heavy right now, from what it looks like. It's a Dragoon. For those who are not Final Fantasy aware, is think of it as a armor-clad polearm jumpy character. Is probably the best way to put it.
A armor-clad, pole-armed, jumpy character.
Yes.
That
They
is
jump.
very
They have a
vivid.
polearm, and they jump really high, and then they come crashing down and skewer the bad guys.
Now,
But
is
they're
this a class, a race, or both?
This is a class, but that's just a class that was just featured during the promo video. So there's a lot of speculation on what that really means here, because there's many classes in Final Fantasy. So the big things here is new zones, new classes, and they're going to add flying to the game, because there's going to have like floating islands you'll be able to get to. So you'll have like little flying chocobos. You'll have like a little personal airship you can cruise around in, and they're going to let us as a guild, or in Final Fantasy speak, free company, build our own free company airship, which is going to be something that we as a group can work towards. They announced they will have a new race, but they have not announced what that race was. They told us what the race was not going to be, which is essentially a ripoff from a Final Fantasy XI. So they said it's not going to be this little thing. I can't explain it if you are not a Final Fantasy person. I can barely explain it, and I know what Final Fantasy XI looks like.
Final Fantasy is hard.
There's a lot of history. It's a long. There's a lot of stuff going on. So they will have a new race that they will announce soon. They did announce a new one of the new classes, the Dark Knight. And the way they announced it was saying,
I'm Batman.
well, you're not far off. They said, I like this movie that was directed by Christopher Nolan, and then they put on a T-shirt with a Batman logo on it. And so that's how they announced it, unofficially, and then they officially announced it in London as Dark Knight. And then they also have another class, that they are teasing right now, saying it is they like the James Bond movies, especially the man with the golden gun. So hopefully we'll have some sort of gun class of some sort, maybe like a musketeer type thing. I don't know. But they're going to be adding new classes to the game there. The Dark Knight we know is going to be a tank class. Filling one of the one of the main roles. That's really that they is just like any other game. There's shortage of tanks and healers. So adding the new class, a new shiny as a tank is a great idea.
A great idea.
All right.
I imagine you guys having raid bosses will now explain their entire plan to you while strapped to some inventive but easy to escape, death device, and then they leave the room.
Yes.
Not a bad idea.
That sounds actually pretty cool, actually. That really sounds like most of the raids in any MMO ever.
And they get stuck monologuing.
Yes, here's a gigantic circle of doom, but as long as you step out of the circle, you're fine.
But you're not going to step out of the circle. That's silly.
Oh, well, yes, because you step into it so you can die and then go do invites because the channel's full.
That's true, unless you do that.
Yes.
Right, which is always a wonderful thing to do anyway. Other fun things, we will be getting DirectX 11 in the expansion. And now DirectX 11, for those non-techie people, DirectX is your Windows way of putting graphics on the screen in a standardized format, and each version gets more sophisticated than the last one. Easily put, DirectX 11 makes things pretty.
Mhm.
Very pretty.
Very much so. And they're going to be including support for that in the expansion. So we're looking forward to that. And the game is available right now on Windows computers and PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4 consoles. So if you have a Mac and you don't want a dual boot or boot camp or whatever you do, or Wine or some other wacky things, you're out of luck. But in March to April, you will have there will be a Mac client available, so you can run it within Mac. No rebooting, no playing with wine bottles or other parallel things.
So early next year, first 3-4 months next year, there'll be a native Mac client.
Right.
Yeah.
So for those who are
Perfect.
Mac only people, and they say, well, I would like to try the game out, but I don't want to run Windows because Macs are awesome. Well, here's your chance.
Outstanding.
That's great.
Or get a PS4, $400 gets you a computer that can essentially play the game.
Right.
Now, in lieu of that, that's all in the future. That's all down the road. Let's talk about the here and the now.
All right.
Patch 4.2 came out recently. That one includes... no, that's backwards. It's 2.4.
Dyslexia.
Patch
We're
2.4.
from the future.
I knew there's been more than 2 patches, and we're not in the 4th revision of the game. This is the 2nd revision of the game. The first one is, poof, gone. Because, let's be honest, the first 1.0 was pretty stinky.
That's why it is a Realm Reborn.
That's right. They blew it up and started over. They actually did to the world what Deathwing should have done. Blew it up.
I actually have to admit, I like that. The fact they got together and said, guys, this isn't working. Instead of trying to patch it, let's just rebuild the dang thing and get it right.
And make a pretty awesome video
Yeah.
doing so with one of the best video game songs I ever heard. So there's that. So recent patch. So let's call it like mid within a single expansion pack, essentially. They added in a new class and a new job. So they've got no expansion pack to purchase, nothing here, just patch, poof, new class rogue with its corresponding job of a ninja, which is a melee DPS class. It uses it's an agility based class, and it has its own little sneak attack and such. And then once you level that rogue up to 30 and you have a Pugilist, which is like a monk martial artist type guy. You get them at 15, you can become a ninja. So then you get a bunch of the Jitsu skills along with that, such as causing explosions and general mayhem on the battlefield, as well as all the rogue skills that you would have. All right. Also,
Awesome. Always wanted to be a ninja.
So what makes it unique is that they added this class mid expansion pack essentially. So
That is-
Wow, that is unusual.
So it's adding, so it'll sort of add that flavor in there, and because of the way Final Fantasy works, every character is eligible to be this class, because every character can be every class.
I've always
Fully
loved that about
unique.
the game.
It's very unique.
Right, and it's cool like that, and there's a lot of cross skills. So, like my Black Mage has some skills from Archer, has some skills from my Scholar and so forth. Put all together or Arcanist rather, to be, to really complete the class out. So there is advantages to playing multiple classes in the game.
Perfect.
All right. Other things in the patch, they do expand on the storyline like they do on every patch. There's an extension to the main scenario, which is really starting to set up things for the expansion. We will get more patches until there. They did say at least one more major patch will drop. So this is not the end of the Realm Reborn cycle. So we'll have some more stuff on here. They did add a new Primal Fight. Primal Fights are a large, extravagant boss fight, and that lives up to the Final Fantasy names. No spoilers on there, but if you open up the Final Fantasy webpage, you'll see a gigantic image of the Primal. If you want to know what it is, go to it yourself. I'm not in the business of spoiling the game for you.
Is that
I agree.
FinalFantasy.com or what's that website?
It is Final Fantasy 14, I believe it is, or I always go to the Lodestone because that's like the player portal. Lodestone.finalfantasyxiv.com, I believe it is.
Okay.
Right? And that's always where you get to the official game forum. That's where you log into the Mog Station, which is like the little account thing to purchase your account. Exactly.
Oh, gotcha.
And you look up. It also has your armory on there, so you can look up your characters and so forth. They added another exciting episode in the Hildebrand saga. Hildebrand is it's a little quest line that you do when you're max level. That is not challenging. It is pretty much made just to be humorous, just to be fun, and to be silly. And at the end there, they added a old school, very reminiscent of Final Fantasy VI, which was 3 in the United States. They added a little fight in there that's just flat out fun. It's not made to be difficult, just made just to be fun.
Mm-hmm.
So they added a new feature there. They added a new tier of rating, which is called the Final Coil of Bahamut. So you have the first coil of Bahamut, the second coil of Bahamut, and now the final coil of Bahamut. I have not been in that yet. I am still working on finishing. I'm still trying to finish the first coil of Bahamut. I'm working on the last boss on the first coil. I cannot beat that boss.
And how many coils are there?
There's 3.
Okay.
There's 3 coils. Now we say, turn 1, turn 2, turn 3 as like the different wings.
Mm-hmm.
And really, a wing consists of a little bit of trash or no trash and a boss. Normally there's no trash at all. Now, when they released the new tiers, they made the previous tiers available through the Duty Finder, which is like the Dungeon Finder. And then when you go through that way, you get something called the Echo, which is their story-based version of justifying giving you 10%, 20% bonus damage, more health, more healing, and so forth. All right? That's just the Echo, which is their story-based version of saying, all right, here's your buff to make it easier.
Got it.
Gotcha.
Also in this patch, there's a item in the game called Atma, which you need for your relic weapon, which is a big long quest line you get once you hit 50 that levels up your weapon as you go through the different stages. And it's one of the hallmark parts of the game. There's this one stage called Atma Farming, and farming is like public quest. You just go to this area, start banging on the bad guys. Everyone just running by can participate, and you do enough, you get rewards, and everybody's happy. You had to do 13 of these little get these little Atma stones, each one in a different zone, through all these fates, and they had about a 1% drop rate.
Ooh.
And you had to get 13. So I spent a good week and a half working on that.
Sure.
Some people are hardcore. They did it in that day. More power to you. Now, if you haven't done that, or if just because the 1% thing threw you off, it is now in the 20 to 25% range now is what we're estimating now from how simple it's people. And so people are just banging this thing out, and they're getting the next level of their relic weapon completed. It's no longer soul crushing. It is actually easy to get your process in.
It's nice. I mean, you play a game for fun. There should be some challenge there, but yeah, you shouldn't hate to do it.
Yeah, you shouldn't have to roll a 1 on 2 10-siders to be able to pick something up.
Spoken like the true geek she is. You are awesome.
Right. The next tier is still there hasn't been too many changes to the next tier, but it's actually something that is it just takes work. Kill 100 bad guys of different types. Go run these dungeons. Go run these fates. Go run these levies and so forth. So it's all stuff that you can do, and you have immediate feedback saying, I am now, if I complete this dungeon, I am guaranteed to be 1% closer on this step.
Mm-hmm.
So there's like constant feedback versus didn't drop, didn't drop. So this change, take out the RNG, love it.
Right. There's no need to be banging your head against it. That's not fair.
Right. So we also have some guild news.
Okay.
All right. First off, we have Casual Raiding Reborn. This happens Wednesday nights, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Because I'm on the I'm running. I keep this going here, and I'm on the East Coast. Essentially, be level 50 on any class. Sometimes 49, depending on what we're doing. But essentially, we'll hop on. We'll say, all right, we have 8 people together. Let's make this group viable. Tanks, healers, and so forth. What can you do? What do you need? Do you need Bahamut? Do you need to do Crystal Tower? Do you just need to work on your first relic, doing your first couple bosses there? Do you need to finish up your story quest, because the story quest ends with 2 8-player raids, which they use raids in a liberal term there. It's actually just go through and click through it. It's not that hard anymore.
Group content.
Yeah, it's not hard anymore because it's with the current gear. But we just get together, get 8 people. If we do less, we just plug it in through the duty finder, and we just do whatever people need to do. No expectations, no prior thing. It's just very casual. You can because of how we do everything through the duty finder, so people can drop in or bail out as they need to, and we do that once a week on Wednesdays, 8 to 10.
Nice.
All right.
Great.
So, and if we can get 8 people together, that's great. So that's less chance of getting a random person in there that may try to be more, you will have less of a chance of someone ruining our fun, and we just want to have a great time doing that.
Certainly.
All right. Garden plots. One of the things we can do with the guild house that, if you don't know, AIE did purchase a large guild house, which gives us the maximum number of garden plots that we can have. The garden plots are now open to all guild mates. Previously, we did have like a plan here, trying to do the cross pollination, germination, and other planty things, and people with green thumbs would take care of that stuff. Now we decided to say, hey, if you have a need to grab some seeds, you want to get some seeds, some fertilizer, some water, and some dirt, go ahead and plant away. Now to get the good stuff. What's that?
This is a game, right?
Yes, it is. You can go gardening. Fun thing, you can grow minions, which are like non-combat pets. You can grow them. You can also get chocobo food to raise the stats of your companion chocobo, and once you get to a certain point in the story, your chocobo can fight alongside with you when you're questing and such, or doing your dailies or running fates or whatever you're doing.
Nice.
So that you can get that and level them up past what you can level them up normally just by going out and killing monsters. So that's if you want to min-max your chocobo, that's how you would do it. And you can also grow food for yourself or your friends. You can also grow chocobo dyes. So instead of having a yellow chocobo with you, you can have a hot pink one or a fuchsia or mauve. What other fun colors?
Does it make them mad when you dye them? So they're not annoying? No chocobos were harmed in the...
No chocobos were harmed, but you can have the blood red one, which has always been known as the angry chocobo, which does have the... There actually is a angry chocobo song that we came across. It's like a heavy metal version of the chocobo song, and it's actually pretty awesome.
Great.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it came to us in 13.2. Yeah, fun stuff. I play a lot of Final Fantasy games.
You think?
You do.
And which is why you're here, because you are the expert.
The only one I missed was 12. It's the only one I missed, and I just never got around to playing it. I want to sometime. It's a timing issue at this point because many games.
Too many games, not enough time.
Too many games, too much real life, too much responsibility.
Too many bills.
That too.
Yeah, bills. Ugh. Well, one more announcement here. I do want to. We did have a little contest when the patch did come down on who was the first person who can get a level 50 ninja and get the first stage of the relic completed. That means, obviously level up to 50. You completed your class story quest because you get class quest you need to do every 5 levels. So you complete all those, and then you start the relic quest, which you can't start until you're level 50, and then you have to get a couple items, and you have to run a couple dungeons, run a couple trials, and eventually complete your first stage of your relic weapon specific to the ninja.
Right.
And the winner of that is Runka.
Congratulations.
Congrats.
And one of our officers, Fist, he was able to donate the Art of Eozra book, which includes the Enterprise Minion in-game reward. And the Enterprise in this game is not the USS Starship Enterprise. It is actually the Enterprise in Final Fantasy lore is the name of the main airship that is always present in each game. It's like one of the common themes that makes it a Final Fantasy. So it's a little itty mini airship is floating around behind you that is modeled after the actual airship that you use in the game's story. That's made by Sid, the engineer.
Very cool.
It's a great prize.
All right, anything else going on with Final Fantasy?
Well,
we're about out of time here.
We're still active. We're still got things going on there. We are in Umami, so just drop us an invite there if you're in game and you want to. You can submit an application in the game, and then we can approve you, or we can go to Umami. Either way, we're going to ask you to create a Umami account anyway, just so we have record of your character. So we'll make sure you have you in there. But then you just hop into Jabber either through the web client or through, if you have your own client, hop in there. We have an AIE LFO channel. I'm sorry, FFXIV _LFO channel in there. That will get in touch with an officer, and the officer can drop you an invite.
Nice.
Great.
Alrighty, so I'm going to call that our show for tonight. While the chat room begins suggesting show titles, and that means you, Sybil, go ahead. We want to thank Abovan for joining us. Hey, Abo, where can people find you on the intratubes?
Well, the general rule of thumb is Abovan. ABOVAN. That means Twitter @Abovan. Forum title Abovan. Character Abovan. Or a permutation thereof. But essentially, if it's PlayStation Network, Abovan. Xbox Live, Abovan. Take your pick,
So,
Abovan.
I'm sensing a theme here.
Yeah, there is a theme. And if it looks like Abovan, just like what a vowel is off or something like that, that's probably me too.
But we mostly refer to you as Abo.
Well, because
That's true.
we shorten everything.
That's the familiarity, yes.
But yeah, and if you wanted to if you just want to get some general information about Final Fantasy XIV or Final Fantasy 14 in AIE, the URL for that takes you to the wiki page for that we set up for that. That is aie-guild.info/ffxiv. So aie-guild.info/ffxiv.
All right, thank you, Abo.
Great. And if you have questions or comments for our show, you can, of course, email us at podcast@aie-guild.org. You can follow us on Twitter. The show's podcast is AIE Podcast. Zod is, of course, at AccuZod. Eludra is at Eludra_AIE. And I am at Cyberwaif. We record live with video every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. You can go to the chat room and play along with us on our website, theaiepodcast.com. And our theme, of course, was composed by the amazing Andrew Allen. Follow him at Keys with Soul or visit his website, keyswithsoul.com.
All right, now it's time to play all of the great AIE member segments we get every week. This week we've got segments from Epic Diapers, Overly Dramatic News, This Week in AIEU, Mega Minute, Ask Miss Mulgra, and a brand new segment I'm proud to announce called The Outpost by Zarek, which covers all the great stuff you can do in and around your garrison in World of Warcraft.
That's a great idea to have something like that.
All right, next week we'll be talking to Max from Star Wars The Old Republic. So until then, AIE, this is AccuZod.
This is Makala.
And this has been the AIE Podcast. Okay, it's enough of that.
Awesome.
All right. Abo, as our guest this week, you get to choose this week's show title, and we see Sybil has already thrown a bunch up there. I don't see Speckles, hasn't done it yet, so probably is aware of Sybil's prowess of this.
I am not. I need to scroll down here. All right. So while I am looking through these here, my parents got me this.
That's
I
awesome.
think I can't see the video. What was
Oh,
it?
that's a camera.
The big thumbs up statue.
Big thumb. Nice. That's hilarious.
So I'm not sure what to do with it. So
Put the word like on the bottom.
There you go.
Just put like and then put on things you like.
That is an
can
interesting
hang it?
piece, yeah.
yeah, well, I can always rely on my parents to get me weird things like that because
I love that. That's actually, you have some pretty cool parents.
they refuse to get me anything electronical.
Well, yeah, because you have it already.
Well, I'm still trying to get them to get me a Surface 3.
Nice.
That would be nice.
Not gonna happen. I gotta buy it myself.
We have a number of show titles to pick from here.
All right, so we have Akizot announces his next expansion, which
Isn't
is
happening, so.
sentimental. Ooh, let's get the sentimental things. But what else we have? Does expansion make my Garrison fat?
I think it's supposed to be my Garrison look fat,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
which is
Final
hilarious.
Fantasy, NRA gun classes, Jai Chocobos, and Revan statues. Just don't sit on it.
I think that's a reference to-
I think that's
the
about
statue.
your thumbs up statue.
which actually is a hilarious title, even though nobody has any idea what that means. All right, so which of those catch your fancy?
Well, because the show is a Final Fantasy show, I think it's going to be a Final Fantasy NRA gun classes, Jai Chocobos, and Revan statues. I just need to
Or thumbs up statues.
thumbs up. That's not, we stopped recording, right?
No,
We
we're
did,
still-
so nobody
we're
can see
recording.
that.
Okay,
Oh,
so
we are?
Okay.
nobody would
Yeah,
know
someone can
except
still see
for
it.
unless you
Except for Sybil.
except
Just
And-
people
and
tune in
Speckles.
for the behind-the-scenes video version of this. We'll see that.
unless you're gonna put like a picture of the send you a picture of the thumbs up, they're gonna send it to you as like the album art or the.
That's awesome.
Okay,
All right, so we'll go to Final Fantasy 1. Sybil, thank you so much.
let me
And,
fix this though. There we go.
Sybil and Speckles, thank you guys both so much for joining us. I know we had kind of a last-minute announcement, and the Sundays are kind of busy now that there's so much to actually play. But we appreciate you guys so much. And with that, we're going to sign off. So thank you, guys.
Thank you. And Abba, thank you so much for coming tonight. It was a great show.